a neuron and a muscle. If synapse is a connection between two neurons, it is known as neuronal synapse. If it is a connection between, if it is a junction between a neuron and a gland, it is known as neuroglandular synapse. And if it is a connection between a neuron and a muscle, it is called neuromuscular synapse. Okay. After this brief definition, let's see. Synapse has three components. What are they? They are the axon terminal of one cell, that is axon terminal of one neuron, the dendrite of the receiving neuron, and a glial cell process. And you might already be knowing, synaptic cleft is the space between these component parts. So let's see in the picture. This is a presynaptic neuron because it is before the synapse. So synapse here, it has three components. What are they? They are the axon terminals of this first neuron. Okay. Then it is dendrites of another neuron. So, and a glial process. So all synapse is, this portion is known as synapse. Okay. This is the presynaptic neuron because it is present. This neuron is present before the synapse, so it is presynaptic neuron. And this neuron is present after the synapse, so it is known as postsynaptic neuron. We need to know the types of synapses. There are mainly three types of synapses: exodendritic, axon and dendrite; exosomatic, axon and soma; exoaxonic means axon and axon. Okay, so let's see with the picture. Exodendritic. This is the most common synaptic contact in the CNS between the axon of one cell and dendrite of another cell. Please see in the picture. There is synapse between the axon. This is the axon of one neuron with the dendrite of another neuron. So this is exodendritic synapse. The name itself is self-explanatory. We need to know just three names. They are exodendritic, exosomatic, and exoaxonal. So exodendritic is the most common synapse in CNS. Okay, exodendritic. Let's see exosomatic. The axon of one neuron and the soma of another neuron. Directly on the soma. This is called exosomatic, but this is less common in CNS. Okay. Then see here in the picture, this is exoaxonal synapse. The axon of all the three neurons are there. Okay. Exoaxonic synapse. When an axon contacts another axon, it is called exoaxonic synapse. Okay. Here we are considering here this one. This is one neuron, it's axon, and this is another neuron, it's axon. So axon of one neuron meets with the axon of another neuron. This is exoaxonal synapse. Hazur, sunyo, dekhe na?
रोक्यो मैम स्लाइड.
Okay, I'll share it again. सुरुको थियो?
थिएन मैम, त्यो उसको पिक्चर साउन्ड चाहिँ आइरहेको थियो तर त्यो कम्पोनेन्ट पिक्चरमा थियो मैम.
ओके, सो अहिले पिक्चर आयो भने भन्ने ल, because we have to see the picture to know it. In exams, from this portion, this chapter, usually synaptic plasticity is very important. Doesn't mean it will only come. Question can come from anywhere, but synaptic plasticity is one of the important ones. Project भयो?
एक्सोडेन्ड्राइटिकमा छ.
Exodendritic picture आएछ है. So as the name itself tells, axon and dendrite. So axon of one neuron and dendrite of another neuron. This synapse is very common in CNS. This is known as exodendritic. Now we'll go to another slide. Excuse me. Exosomatic. axon of one neuron and soma of another neuron. Okay, this is exosomatic. This is less common. I hope it is coming. The third one, exo-axonal. Here we talk about, as the name says, axon of one neuron. This neuron is the axon and axon of another neuron. So exo-axonal synapse. Okay. These synapses are often on or near the axon hillock, where they can cause very powerful effects, potentially producing an action potential, or they can inhibit an action potential that would have otherwise been fired. Okay, so could you see the pictures, 3 pictures of the 3 types of synapses? Exodendritic, exosomatic, and exo-axonal. Most common in CNS is exodendritic. Then can you see this picture?
एक्सोसोमेटिक मा छ बा मैले
एक्सोसोमेटिक मा छ, एक्सो-एक्सोनल मा आएन है। ल फेरि शेयर गर्छु नि है त। यो एक्सन को axon of one neuron and axon of another. This is exo-axonal. Okay. So simply till now we studied that synapse can be a junction between a neuron and another neuron, a neuron and a muscle, or a neuron and a gland. Here we are talking about neuronal synapse, that is between neurons. So types of the synapses here we discussed are axon and dendrite. Exodendritic, this is the most common in CNS. Axon and soma, that is exosomatic. Then axon and another axon. Axon of one and axon of another, that is exo-axonal synapse. Now another picture. This picture is being projected or not? Yes, no?
छैन म्याम ए आयो
म्याम okay. So this is one axon ko terminal, right? This is another axon. So this is presynaptic neuron. This is a presynaptic neuron, and this is another neuron. So exo-axonic synapse. Okay, that is between terminal A and B. Your A neuron and B neuron. In between A and B, it is exo-axonic synapse. But between this is now you can see A and B. This is exo-axonic synapse, and what you see, C is just a postsynaptic receptor. Okay, let's see another picture. The picture is projected. Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. This is a presynaptic neuron because it is before the synapse, because we are considering this synapse. Okay, and now this is a postsynaptic neuron. Again, if we consider this one, it becomes the presynaptic neuron. This is exosomatic, isn't it? And what about this one? This is a presynaptic. And this is postsynaptic. This is also exosomatic. Okay. Now, electrical or chemical synapse. Project छ
ma'am.
Okay. Electrical or chemical synapse, they are gap junctions. Sorry, electrical versus chemical synapse. You or भनेर नबुझ्नु. This is electrical versus chemical synapse. Gap junctions are electrical synapses which are found in cardiac muscle, smooth muscle, and some regions of the brain. Okay, in CNS it can be found. So gap junctions are electrical synapses. Now, in chemical synapses, what happens is neurotransmitters are packaged in synaptic vesicles, and these neurotransmitters, they are released by exocytosis into the synaptic cleft. They are released by exocytosis into the synaptic cleft. The neurotransmitter can be called the ligand of the receptor. The binding of the neurotransmitter to the receptor causes the opening of the chemically regulated gates of ion channels. So we have to know that there are electrical synapse or chemical synapse. The difference between them is that in electrical synapse, synaptic transmission is emphatic transmission of electrical impulses through gap junctions, but in chemical it is by release of neurotransmitters. Electrical synapse, the transmission, the communication is in both directions, but in chemical synapse, communication can occur only in one direction, from the presynaptic terminal containing neurotransmitters to the postsynaptic membrane bearing receptors for the neurotransmitter. So for chemical synapse, the communication is in one direction, but for electrical synapse, communication is in both directions. Okay. Electrical synapse, the speed of synaptic transmission equals the speed of nerve conduction. But in case of chemical synapse, there is a synaptic delay of about 0.5 milliseconds. The speed of synaptic transmission is much slower in chemical synapse than the speed of nerve conduction, okay, which results in a synaptic delay of about 0.5 milliseconds. Electrical synapse is much less susceptible to fatigue, but chemical synapse is vulnerable to synaptic fatigue. Okay. Chemical synapse offers possibility of amplification, signal inversion, and persistent effects. And electrical synapse, they are very fast, and they are used when synchronization is more important than computation. So main points that you need to remember are electrical synapses are gap junctions. Chemical synapses, they are mediated by neurotransmitters. Electrical synapses can occur, communication can occur in both directions, but in chemical synapse, the communication occurs in one direction. Okay. Electrical synapse not susceptible to fatigue, but chemical synapse is susceptible to fatigue. The speed of synaptic transmission equals the nerve conduction in electrical synapse, but in chemical synapse there is a synaptic delay. Okay. I hope the slide is being projected.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I'll tell you something very important. Then we'll come back to the another slide. Now let's talk something about plasticity. Okay, synaptic plasticity. So before we go into the difficult ones, the complicated and sophisticated ones, let's see the simple ones. This slide is being seen. देखिए कुछ है?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. आयो?
छैन, ma'am.
Okay, so it needs everything, all the impulses are being transmitted by the communication between the neurons, isn't it? Isn't it? Okay. देखिए कुछ था present भएको. Is it being presented?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's a big thing. Okay. This slide, can you see the cursor in the form of palm?
Yes, ma'am.
Then hopefully you can see number 1, 2, 3, 4, isn't it? So let's focus here what is happening in this picture. So number 1 is, this is a presynaptic cell, okay, presynaptic neuron, and this is the postsynaptic cell, okay. let's start. This is the presynaptic cell and this is the postsynaptic cell. In the presynaptic cell, high frequency action potential has come. When high frequency action potential comes, what happens? Calcium entry occurs. Then there is exocytosis of the neurotransmitter, isn't it? This knowledge you already have from your first year physiology classes, isn't it? That as soon as the action potential comes, calcium channel opens, calcium entry occurs, then exocytosis of the neurotransmitters occur, isn't it? Up to here is clear? The neurotransmitter that is contained here in the vesicles is glutamate. Glutamate is an excitatory neurotransmitter. Okay, so this one is the magnified view of the synaptic cleft. Okay, so glutamate is now released. What happens then? Now we need to study, we need to know about two types of receptors that are present in the postsynaptic cell. One is known as AMPA receptor, not PAPA, AMPA, AMPA, AMPA receptor. Okay, another is NMDA receptor. You have to mug it up. Okay, no other alternative. What you should know is in postsynaptic cell, there are two types of receptors. One is called AMPA, AMPA receptor. Another is NMDA receptor. So let's see first AMPA receptor, AMPA receptor. What happens in AMPA receptor is the glutamate that is released in the synaptic cleft, that glutamate binds to both the channels. That means glutamate binds to AMPA receptor and glutamate, see the triangular purple color, this one is binding here in the AMPA receptor and it is also binding in the NMDA receptor. Now let's see what happens when glutamate binds with the AMPA, AMPA receptor. When this triangular purple thing that is called glutamate binds with the AMPA receptor, it causes entry of the sodium ions. So when there is influx of the cations, when there is entry of the sodium ions, it causes depolarization, isn't it? But its depolarization is about only 20 to 30 millivolts. It is not a very high one. Okay, so what has happened? I'd like to recapitulate. Okay, action potential comes, calcium entry occurs, exocytosis of the neurotransmitter occurs. Neurotransmitter here released is glutamate. Glutamate binds to postsynaptic cell को AMPA and NMDA receptor. When glutamate binds to AMPA receptor, it causes entry of the sodium inside the cell, inside the postsynaptic cell. So influx of the positive charge, that is influx of the sodium ion or influx of the cation, causes depolarization by 20 to 30 millivolts. What happens is when the depolarization, another thing I would like to tell you is we have talked about AMPA receptor, isn't it? Now we are talking about NMDA receptor. So NMDA receptor, it is a receptor which always has a block. Any about AMPA receptor? Do you follow this AMPA receptor? It's easy, no? Glutamate binds, sodium entry occurs, depolarization of 20 to 30 millivolt. Clear, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Then this there is another receptor which is called NMDA receptor. NMDA receptor is such a receptor. In normal state, it has a lock, and that lock, in a normal state, it is closed by a lock. Okay, NMDA receptor, normally when it is present, it is locked, it is closed by a lock. And what is the name of this lock? This lock is magnesium ion. Okay, what happens is, as soon as the glutamate comes and binds with NMDA receptor, as soon as the glutamate comes and binds with the NMDA receptor, what happens? The magnesium block is removed. Magnesium block is removed. The lock itself comes out. so it becomes unlocked. It becomes open. When NMDA becomes open, what happens? Calcium ions enter inside. Okay, calcium ions are also positive ions. Okay, and this becomes possible. How this lock is removed? That is important. This lock is removed because there is a depolarization, because AMPA receptor has allowed depolarization. AMPA receptor bata sodium has entered, depolarization of 20 to 30 millivolt, and this depolarization which is provided by the entry of sodium through AMPA receptor, this depolarization, please remember, this depolarization helps to remove the magnesium lock. Okay, then the magnesium lock goes away and calcium can enter inside. Okay, when the glutamate binds. If there is no depolarization, even if the glutamate binds, the calcium is there, sorry, the magnesium lock is there, there is no depolarization, then the calcium cannot enter. Please remember this. The most important point is, after the depolarization drives magnesium ion out of the pore. The lock has been removed. Then 6 na kya huncha? Calcium entry activates second messenger system. The calcium ion enters inside, and calcium ion, when it enters inside in the cell, it activates the second messenger systems. Okay, after that what happens? There is long-lasting increase in glutamate receptors and sensitivity to glutamate receptors. So long-lasting increase in glutamate synthesis and release occurs in the presynaptic cell. Tell me frankly, could you follow this, the steps from 1 to 8? Frank, if yes, yes, no, I will repeat. If you know, we'll go forward. Is it understood?
Buja, ma'am.
Yes, you could follow. Okay, brilliant. If you could follow this, then this is the simplest diagram that I could get. Now we will come to your textbook on naam kya ho? Ganong. Okay. You have to look at the pictures and flowcharts of your Guyton and Ganong. Okay. So this is the most favorite of all your examiners, the picture, this one. Looks complicated, don't panic, I'll simplify it. If you have understood this one, it's very easy to understand this one. Okay, this is a picture. This is from Ganong, not Guyton. Okay, Ganong. So what is this? This is a presynaptic neuron and this is a postsynaptic cell. Okay, so let's see. This is the magnesium lock vacuum. This is NMDA receptor. Okay, and this is AMPA receptor. Okay, and this is mu AMPA receptor. Okay, now I'll go step by step so that you will not panic. Okay, number 1, there is action potential in the presynaptic neuron. Calcium entry occurs. These vesicles, they release the neurotransmitter in the synaptic cleft. This neurotransmitter is glutamate, isn't it? Now we have to focus that glutamate binds to NMDA receptor and AMPA receptor. What happens when glutamate binds to AMPA receptor? When glutamate binds to AMPA receptor, it causes entry of sodium ions. When sodium ions enter inside, depolarization of about 20 to 30 volt occurs. When depolarization occurs by the entry of sodium ions in the AMPA receptor, it causes the lock of the NMDA receptor to go out. When the lock goes out, what happens? Calcium entry occurs, isn't it? Glutamate binds. Some books say only calcium entry occurs, and some books can add sodium as well. Do remember calcium. Calcium, very important calcium. So once by the depolarization of the AMPA receptor, magnesium lock is removed from NMDA receptor, calcium ions enter inside the postsynaptic cell. When calcium ion enters inside, it activates the second messenger system. So what do you understand? Calcium, calmodulin, it activates calcium calmodulin kinase enzyme. It activates pyruvate kinase enzyme activation. Another is tyrosine kinase. So second messenger system is activated, means all these systems will be activated. What is the end result of activation? There is retrograde signal generator. That means this signal can be transmitted by no, doesn't mean yes, no, no. NO means nitric oxide. Okay. So it gives signal and it goes to the presynaptic transmitter, presynaptic neuron. That means here it says that glutamate receptors are required, glutamate is required, okay, and it goes here and more glutamate is released here, more and more AMPA receptor is formed. Could you follow this one?
Ma'am.
हजुर प्रोजेक्ट नै भएको छैन
म्याम त्यो हजुरले अर्को पनि पिक्चर देखाउनु भएको त्यो फर्स्ट पछिको
यो 1 2 3 4 5 8 सम्म this one I showed. After that I have showed another picture. यो आयो कि आएन?
आएन म्याम.
It is such a joke teaching to young people. Okay, so you were listening and you were seeing the previous picture, oh?
Yes, ma'am.
Really? So it got revised. Okay, it's good that it happened. Now I am sharing it again, and hopefully it will be a new picture. Okay. Actually, these both pictures. Please listen. These both pictures are very, very important. But the picture that I am showing to you is not in your textbook. Okay, it is a very simple one, but it is not in your textbook. So what happens is, what is not in your textbook usually doesn't is not liked by your examiners. Okay, they like the complicated ones which are present in the textbooks. Okay, so this is the one which is present in your textbook. Ganong textbook ma present cha. Our project bhacha? Is it projected?
आउँदै छ होला म्याम.
Yes, it is reaching gradually. Synaptic plasticity is a very favorite of your examiners. Okay, and as you already know, the wiring of the impulse transmission, whatever information that has to be transmitted, is by the communication between the neurons. So, if we are learning, like you will have exam, if I say, after a few days, then what will you do? You study one thing, then you will revise it again you will revise, and then you can write without seeing, isn't it? So how does it happen? That is called learning. That is called plasticity. Plasticity means the neurons, once the impulse has transmitted through one path, a circuit is developed. And so, for example, today you studied synapse. Okay, synapse topic you studied today. So one circuit is developed in your brain. Tomorrow you study the same topic, synapse, again. Then the same circuit will be strengthened because it will pass through the same circuit, isn't it? Day after tomorrow, again you study the same topic. Then this circuit has become strengthened, isn't it? And it becomes very easy for you to understand the thing, isn't it? Have you realized or not that on first day when you study, you find it a little difficult to memorize, but on second day it becomes easier. Third day, just by seeing the heading itself, you can tell, isn't it? Picture aaya kya hai na? Is it projected?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, successfully reached. So this one, the one that you have understood previously, this is similar to that one. Okay, let me explain. Try to see it. This is the presynaptic neuron. Okay, this is the presynaptic neuron, and this is the postsynaptic neuron. In the presynaptic neuron, axon potential comes. Axon potential आएपछि के हुन्छ? calcium entry occurs, exocytosis of the neurotransmitters occur. The neurotransmitter that is exocytosed is glutamate. The postsynaptic cell has got many receptors, but we have to know AMPA receptor and NMDA receptor. AMPA receptor and NMDA receptor. AMPA receptor and NMDA receptor, both of them get glutamate attached to them. Okay, let's see what happens in AMPA. When glutamate attaches to the AMPA receptor, sodium entry occurs, sodium influx occurs. Okay, when sodium influx occurs, depolarization of 20 to 30 millivolt occurs. Slight depolarization occurs. This depolarization moves away the magnesium block that is normally present in NMDA receptor. So, by the help of the depolarization, with the help of the AMPA receptor, the lock that is present because of the magnesium, this lock is present in NMDA receptor. This lock moves away and it becomes open. Now, calcium ion enters inside. Okay, some books say sodium also, but we have to understand calcium ions. This is very, very important. Calcium ion enters inside. So what does calcium do? Calcium acts on the second messenger system of the cell, of the neuron. What are the second messenger systems? It can act on calcium calmodulin kinase. It can act on protein kinase C. It can act on tyrosine kinase. Any of them or all of them. Okay. So main thing is it acts on the second messenger system. So the consequent result is what? The last final result is there is a retrograde signal generator. That means it gives signal to the presynaptic neuron. That's why there is a big arrow, isn't it? And here it is written retrograde messenger. No, no question mark. NO is not yes, no. This is nitric oxide. Scientists are still guessing. That's why question mark is there. They are still doing research. They guess that it is the nitric oxide which plays the role. Okay. Anyways, we students should understand that when there is second messenger system going on, second messenger activity going on, ultimately it leads to new AMPA receptor. AMPA receptor, more AMPA receptor is produced and it gives a signal to the presynaptic neuron that, hey, neuron, release more glutamate. So more and more glutamate will be released. Any problems, students? Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So, write in your Gyananko, your picture, V, IMP. How many V you want to write? You write an IMP. Synaptic plasticity is a very important component of learning. Later on, you will be taught by our teachers, our respected teachers, about learning and memory. Or you have already been taught? No, you will be later on taught. Okay, about learning and memory. So I give you the example that, for example, you are learning driving. Okay, when you go on the first day to learn driving, you learn what is where to put the accelerator, what is ABC, accelerator, brake and clutch, isn't it? So what happens? One circuit is developed in your brain. Okay, then next day also you go for driving practice, then the same circuit gets strengthened. Okay, another day also you learn something more, the same circuit gets more and more synapse. Strengthened means it gets more and more connection, more and more information is added on there. So that happens by this way. You take it's only your chemical changes. This is the synaptic plasticity. Okay, so if in exam you get a question of synaptic plasticity, please, my humble request, do not forget this diagram. If you find this complicated, you can draw this one. Can you see this one?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No problem. But you can see this one, the Ganong one.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Yes, this one usually comes in your exam. In practical exam also. What we do is we block this one. We glutamate jun color sa ni purple color ko. We put it A, here calcium light B, we put amda ko you block garera, we put it C, here we add something, write something, we ask the name of the receptor, or we ask the name of the neurotransmitters, or we ask what is happening here. Okay, so any question regarding plasticity can be asked from here. Could you follow this much?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is your favorite book? Which book do you study during exams? I promise I'll not tell anyone. You don't want to say? Okay, you study Gaitan and Ganonko pictures at least. Okay, please study the pictures of Gaitan and Ganong. Okay, because they are really very important. So, slide change garechu. Is it being seen or not? Is the slide being changed? Is the screen dekhecha?
Change, ma'am.
Same, sir. Okay. I'll present it again, then maybe it will be seen. Is this problem faced with other teachers also, or is it my particular problem?
Actually, anatomy भएको थियो म्याम, तर अहिले चाहिँ हुँदैन.
Wow, then it is only my problem. I hope someday it will go away. Now is it presented? EPSP and IPSP?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We need to study this again. Your first year course, okay? We have to know this. Why? Because EPSP, when it is produced when excitatory neurotransmitters like glutamate are released. We have already studied about the synaptic plasticity, isn't it? What was the neurotransmitter involved? It was glutamate, isn't it? So EPSP is produced when excitatory neurotransmitters like glutamate are released, and IPSP is produced when inhibitory neurotransmitters like GABA and glycine are released. EPSP is associated with opening of ligand-gated sodium channels. IPSP is associated with opening of ligand-gated potassium channels. If you remember this much, it will be enough. Now let's see. This is the graph showing EPSP and this is the graph showing IPSP. Action potential Pordahari, you have already studied, isn't it? So, can you see this picture? No ma'am, yes ma'am, Q. Can you see this picture?
How this
no? If it doesn't come, tell me. I'll do it fast. Could you follow something today? Today's class was mainly about what is synapse, what are types of synapses, that is what is the structure of the synapse, and then what is synaptic plasticity. Bujhe sir? Could you follow?
Yes ma'am.
What happens is when we are studying nervous system, initially it is very fun, but if we do not revise it and if we are not consistent with the study, nervous system makes us very nervous. So my suggestion is please revise the topics, okay? You can study like this also, it can be like this, it can be in different shapes and sizes. Synapse appear in different forms. And since our brain has millions and millions of neurons, And glial cells, you already know. Glial cells are supporting cells. So our brain is actually a handsome gift given to us by the Creator. Okay, it works with the communication between the synapses. Don't write this philosophy in your answer book. Okay, otherwise you'll get a big 0, which is not supported by 1. Okay. I'm telling you why, because what happens is when we teach you, we try to give you some examples, and try to tell you in a lighter sense, but you happen to write the same in exams. What I mean to say is, please remember that there are so many neurons in our brain, and there are so many supporting cells in our brain, and the information that we are receiving, they are being sent to the CNS, the information are being analyzed, and then they are being sent to the motor system, isn't it? So for memory and for learning, the synapses, they play a very important role, because when we are learning, or when we are, especially when we are learning something, the synapses, once circuit is formed, then second time when we learn, a newer dimension is added. Maybe some more synapses are added to the same circuit. Okay, so that thing has to be hammered in your brain. No, that word will be too harsh. That thing has to be revised many times. Okay, so we'll do this much for today. Is there any question? Any question?